Alright guys, so I wanted to make this video talking about Crimson Desert and some of the discourse around it. I haven't played it because it's not really the kind of game that interests me personally. I'm not really interested in a single player MMO. Just not my thing. I like RPGs are my favorite. I like strategy games. I like 4X games. I like shooters. Those are like the genres I tend to stay within. I don't tend to venture outside those genres very often unless something really like catches my eye or something. But those are mostly the games that I play. So, and since this game doesn't really look like it falls in any of those categories, I might pick it up later. I wanted to talk about some of the discussion around this game and some things that I've noticed. The first thing I wanted to talk about is like, is a 7 out of 10 a bad game, or should that be considered a bad game? Because like that was that was what a lot of the discourse around this game was kind of based around for a while. Was like, it's a solid 7 out of 10, but other people were like, so you're saying it's terrible? It's like, no, it's not terrible. It's just not great. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people, when they review games like this, they just don't give number scores anymore, because like people misconstrue it and it's so off. And it's weird that video games are like the only like form of media that this is the case with, where like 6 or 7 out of 10 is considered to be like slightly below average, and 8 is average to alright, and then a 9 is really good, and then a 10 is like a masterpiece. Like that's not the case with other fucking media. You're looking online and someone gives like a movie a B minus, you don't take that. Oh man, that movie sucks. It's like, oh, it's okay, right? But for some reason with video games, we came up with this scale at some point to where 1 to 5 means like it's barely even functioning. Like it's shovelware, or it's so fucking bad that it's barely even qualifies as a game. That's your 1 to 5s. Those are your buggy messes or your game mill games, which is your shovelware, your shit like that. Your asset flips, your things like all that kind of shit. Like 5 to 7 is considered below average to average, and then 7 to 8 is considered like average to good to slightly above average. And then 8 to 9 is considered like pretty good. Then 9 to 10 is considered like masterpiece status, or 9 to 10 is considered like amazing. I don't know when that scale came into being, but it's kind of a strange thing. And the thing is, I don't think from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, and I haven't played the game, that I don't think this is a bad game. I think it's just a game that is slightly above average. It reminds me a lot of Dragon's Dogma, actually. Which is, well, I bought Dragon's Dogma 2, and I ended up being like immensely disappointed with that game. And this gave off a lot of that vibes, where it looked kind of rough and not really put together all that well. You know, hopefully when I do play it, hopefully the combat actually has a little bit more depth, and it's not like Dragon's Dogma 2 was, where it's fun for like the first dozen hours and then it gets really boring because you realize every combat encounter is the same shit over and over. One of the reasons why I tend not to like third-person character action games is that they get too repetitive for me. But it seems a lot like that game, where it's like there's incomplete systems, or there's systems like it seems like a good proof of concept. It is this studio's like first single-player non-MMO game, so it seems like there's a lot of jank to it. But it seems like how ambitious something like this is, I can see why. But it seems like a lot of people went into this with like a lot of high expectations, and they put a negative review. You know, they again, it's the hype cycle. It's why I don't tend to get hyped for games that are longer than 6 months out. I've talked about this before in other videos, where like unless a game's coming out within the next couple months, I don't even think about it. I think the only exception in recent years has been that Clockwork Revolution game, which still pops up in my head, and I still really want to see what that game is. But yeah, like other than that, I just don't think about games that are more than like a couple months out, because it's just a waste of time and you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. And I think a lot of people did, even though this game kind of did come out of nowhere. The marketing push for this was wild. Like nobody was talking about it, and then all of a sudden a month before release, like everybody was talking about it. So whoever was the marketing leader or the marketing manager or whatever for this definitely deserves props. But besides the people that came into this with too high a hype and too high expectations, I think what's driving a lot of the negative reviews, and this is the main thing I want to talk about with this video, and is the reason why I made this video, is I think there's a lot of people, and it's not just in gaming discussions and gaming talk and things like that. It's all over the place. My point is that there's a lot of people, it seems like they want to be on the front lines of reporting on the next biggest flop or the next biggest game that sucks. Like there's a real trend of like people wanting to be negative about almost every fucking game that comes out. I'm sure you've seen the people. There's people on YouTube that's literally their career, and people watch them, which is the thing. And I think this is the reason, the thing that's driving a lot of this negativity is, and it's sad to say, and I wish it wasn't this way, but it's the truth, is that negativity sells. People want to be angry. They want to be upset about things. They want to, get angry and go online and be belligerent about things. And it drives clicks. I mean, look up top 10, not just in video games, but like top 10 movies or, whatever in years past. And look at the difference between like the top 10 and then the bottom 10. When there's a top 10 list and then a bottom 10 list, I know like any YouTuber you can think of that makes those kinds of lists. And look at the view difference. I mean, it is what it is. And the top 10 lists are just an easy to see example, but like it's just the facts. People tend to watch negative videos more than they tend to watch the positive ones. I wish they weren't. Because of that, people want to be on the front lines, and they want to be the ones making the video about the newest flop because it gets views, and they want to get views because they want to get noticed on social media. That's what it is. I think it's what's driving a lot of this. That's why you see a lot of these negative reviews on Crimson Desert when you go to Steam, and a lot of them are like 2 hours played, 4 hours played. Like they barely even gave the game a chance before they're just like, and I think it's because they went in. I think some of it is, like I said before, they hype themselves up too much and they let it consume them. But I think a lot of it is, man, I can report on this new negativity, and look, all these other people are saying it sucks too. So this could potentially get me some views and some clicks, and they go into it with that mindset, like, man, I want to hate this. I want this to suck because then I have a higher chance of getting clicks on my video, or a higher chance of getting clicks on my post. I know some people are like, well, what are you doing in this video? I'm not being negative in this video, except towards the way that this works, because I wish it didn't work this way. I wish people weren't ready to be so negative, and I wish negativity didn't get more clicks a lot of time than the positive videos do. So I guess I am kind of being negative in this video, but it's not about the game itself. And I'm not saying like it's a bad thing to complain, if you have complaints or whatever. Obviously if you have complaints about the game, there do seem to be quite a few. It does seem to be janky, as I said before. Go ahead and voice those complaints. But like when you see so many reviews that have like 2 hours and 3 hours on it that barely gave it a chance, and I know it's because of the 2-hour refund policy, but Steam's pretty lenient with that anyway. You could probably get away with, refunding it, even if you have like 4 hours on it. But like I think a lot of people are going into it with that mindset of like, I want to trash it so I can get social media clout, and that's just really sad. And I know people are, well, you're a hypocrite because that's what you're doing. I'm not I'm trashing people who are clout chasing off of negativity. So I guess, yeah, I am kind of being negative with this video, but it's my channel, and it is my genuine opinion, and it's something I noticed, and I think a lot of people are kind of afraid to point it out because they don't want to point fingers about and call people out for doing certain things because it's impolite or whatever. But I'll just call it out as I see. I think a lot of people are clout chasing. Not just with this game, but with a lot of games. So they were doing it with Marathon too. Marathon, I mean, say what you will about it. I probably will try it out because that's a shooter at least. Even though I'm not a big fan of extraction shooters, and I don't like that it's character based at all. It's at least a first-person shooter, and I do like shooters. And Bungie has made good shooters, so I've thought about trying it. But it gets 50,000 players a day, but you would never know that if you look at the discourse around it, where people are just trashing, like they want it to fail, which I get it. I mean, Bungie is kind of a shitty company, and they're mismanaged, and there's a lot of problems with the company. I get it, but like to act like it's a complete flop when it's getting 50,000 people a day per Steam a couple weeks after launch. I mean, it is what it is, dude. People just want to be negative because they want to get clicks. That's just how I see it. But I'm just repeating myself at this point. I just wanted to make this video kind of, putting my thoughts out on a couple of things I noticed around the discourse, around games in general. Whether like a 7 out of 10 game is a bad game, or whether it should be considered as a bad game. And I don't think it should. but I get why people see that score and they're just like, I don't know if I want to, play that, especially for $70. I mean, that's a lot of fucking money, dude. To waste on a game that's slightly above average, like it's a lot of money in today's world. $70, like $70 is $70. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm stupid, if you agree, disagree, whatever. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my other channel. I just put a video out there. But until next time, this is Unfiltered Ascent signing out. Thanks for watching, guys.